At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Krueger here, and we are starting off your coffee with Krueger. I'm going to take a cup of my coffee, sip of my coffee here. What a last couple of days it's been out there. We've been looking at, of course, the heavy rainfall. What a mess it was out on those roads. I-5 is closed pretty much all day long. It's finally opened up, and just as expected, conditions are improving out there. That's because, improving in the sense of chain requirements and road conditions, right? Because we're seeing rain now on top of a lot of the snow, and so conditions are getting better on those roadways. Still a lot of chain requirements. We'll be talking about that here in just a bit. But let's take a look at number one, first and foremost, at this. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm going to start off by saying I had doubts in the forecast models and the projections on just how much snow we were going to see, in particular for Mount Shasta and Boerne. Mount Shasta, remember the forecast model earlier this week was saying 30 to 40 inches of snow. It's like, oh, come on. Seriously? No, right? I was saying maybe a foot and a half, right? Now we saw 2 feet plus. There were reports of 28 inches, that some of the highest readings I've seen reports from for Mount Shasta City was about 28 inches. So we got really on the lower end of what the model was saying for like 3 days. It was saying that for like 3 days. I'm like, no, right? And then for Boerne, it was projecting some decent snow. In fact, I think even the model was projecting less snow for Boerne than we saw totally, right? 12 to even upwards of 18. I got a few reports. Keep in mind, look at the very top of the banner. It says unofficial. These are just coming in from you on social media. I requested for people to send in their totals, and here's what we came up with. Coffee Creek, 10 inches. Montgomery Creek, about 9 inches plus. Dunsmuir, look at that. Now, the forecast model was saying for Dunsmuir like 30 to 40 inches as well. So it was way overplaying for Dunsmuir. But Dunsmuir got to see a decent amount, 6 to 8 inches. Castle, about 6 inches. And MacArthur, about 4 to 6 inches. So, let me know in the comment section below what it looked like where you are. What happened if you got to see snow? Did you see more? Did you see less? Do you have numbers in one of these communities that's maybe a bit different? Love to see it, because it definitely was quite a day. And speaking of precipitation, let's talk about the rain for the last 2 days. This is the last 48 hours that we're looking at. 3.5 for Redding Airport. Look at that, over 4 inches out in Chico. 3.16 in Red Bluff. But look it up at El Turris. 3,200s, 1,600s in Susanville, not very much. And typically we see a lot more rain for the coast. But remember when I've said this many times before during my forecast, the reason usually the coast gets more rain is because the storms are coming from the northwest and working their way to the south and east. So as a result, the coast typically sees more rain. But where's this rain coming from? It's coming from the southwest. It's moving from the southwest, working its way northeastward. At least that's the flow of the moisture. So that's why the coast is not seeing any more rain than the valley. In fact, it's seeing less rainfall than the valley. Kind of interesting. Look at Hayfork, almost 6 inches of rain there. So, wow, right? All right, let's get to the quick cast here. For those of you that are in a hurry this morning and just want to know what's going on here for the next 24 hours, we're going to take a look at that. But before we do that, I just want to show you what I'm tracking here as we do go in the deeper dive forecast. Flood potential. Here's the thing. We've got to shift our focus from the snow we saw yesterday to the flooding potential. The thing is, you get immediate reaction and results when the wind kicks in and when the snow kicks in, right? The snow piles up, you have chain requirements, it creates problems. Same thing with the winds. The winds hit, it creates power outages, problems immediately. With flooding, it's a delayed reaction. First of all, we got to saturate the ground. Then the ground gets oversaturated, and then it has to run off down from the foothills down to the valley and into the creeks and streams. And it takes sometimes 12 to even 24 hours plus for us to see results from all that rain that we've seen. Now we're beginning to see the very beginning phases in some areas of that, which we'll take a closer look at that here in a little bit. It's kind of interesting. And take a look at the radar. This is the radar from yesterday at this time. Remember all that snow? You see all the snow on the map? You see the heavy rainfall? Look what happens going through the day. That snow was steady all day long, giving you all that snow. But look what's happening this morning. Right? First of all, we're not seeing as much snow in some of those areas. And number two, it's all in the form of rain now. Snow levels have gotten a lot higher this morning than they were just 24 hours ago. I mean, we saw snow down approximately somewhere in that 2,000 to 2,500 foot range in some areas yesterday. That's pretty low. That colder air was trapped, folks, and then what happened was, what's happening now, that colder air is getting mixed out from the warm subtropical air that's over us now. And that's why we're seeing those snow levels rise. 50 degrees for Redding right now, 50 in Chico, 44 in Susanville. We've got 41 in Alturas and low 50s for the coast. Visibility is rather low in some cases. You know, you've got a lot of that low-level moisture from all the precipitation we've seen, and you're kind of seeing some fog and some light fog in some areas. I do want to show you a camera from Crescent City, just to really kind of calm out there today. It looks like it's blown a little bit this morning. But not a lot of rain. You're seeing some light precipitation, but you're going to be looking at some rain here. And the winds by especially tonight are really going to ramp up out along the coast again. In fact, we'll take a look at that high wind watch that we do have for that area. Let's take a look at the winter storm warning, still in effect, but look at the snow levels. These warnings are for elevations of 5,000 or higher for Trinity County and 7,000 feet. Or in case with my extra numbers, I got a little button happy with the zeros. That should be 5,000. I do understand that 5,000 has 3 zeros, not 4. But it's been a morning, folks. But 10 o'clock tonight, there is a winter storm warning above 7,000 feet to the east of the valley. Okay, we still have chain requirements out there. Despite the fact I-5 is open, they're still screening big rigs at Fondale exit to make sure that they have chains, but it's open. Scott Mountain is still closed because of all the snow up there, but there are chain requirements on I-5 still. There are chain requirements on Highway 36. Highway 299 looks okay, and I think it'll be okay all day long today. Snow levels are too high for that. And we still have chain requirements east of I-5, but typically not as many as we see during these winter storms, and that's just because we just haven't seen as much rain and snow out towards places in, say, Modoc County and in extreme eastern and northeastern Lassen County as well. All right, so let's get you out the door this morning. It's going to be wet. Any way you look at it, everyone's almost pretty much looking at those wet conditions. It's getting more mild, too. It's 50 degrees this morning in the valley. And it will be 50 degrees in the valley, and of course just wet conditions all day long. So there's the big old setup right there. You see the big spin at the very top of your screen there. That is what's left over of the bomb cyclone you've been hearing about, right? Now below that, what we have is these disturbances rotating around that area of low pressure. So below that, you've got another system that's pushing eastward and it will impact us over the next 24 hours. But we've still got the atmospheric river aimed right at Northern California. It's that garden hose, right? Aimed right at Northern California. And that's going to be the case once again for today. Now, as a result, we do have flood alerts all over the place. So the dark, all the shaded green, that's a flood watch. Look at along the coast. That is a flood advisory. That's also a flood advisory over Lassen and eastern Plumas County. And you see that lighter shade of green, that's a flood warning for western and southern Siskiyou County. Now, most of these are pretty much in effect through Saturday morning. And that's because the rivers, a lot of the rivers in those areas are going to create problems. So we're going to get into that a little bit later in the deeper dive. We're going to take a look at the forecast river where they're going to crest. And some of them are going to go over the flooding stage, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But take a look at the temperature, the rain. Take it to the noon hour. There it is, right? The rain just kind of continues. Now notice there's a cutoff. around northern Humboldt and Del Norte County, which means you're just not going to see as much rain up there. You see that? Even through the day, you're not getting a whole lot of this rain. You know, I've defined what an atmospheric river is, and number one, it's a narrow band of moisture aimed at a particular location, and in this case, us. And when you get outside of that narrow band of moisture, you're not seeing as much rain, sometimes nothing. So that's essentially what's going on there. You're just not seeing as much out towards the north and west. But there you can see it kind of retrogrades or moves up to the north and west by tonight. So more rain coming in probably later this evening and tonight for Del Norte County, northern Humboldt, but less to the south. So there's the wind. Oh, that's been updated. Let me see what that's all about. That is a wind advisory. It expires at 4 a.m. So instead of a high wind watch, which it was, it's now a wind advisory. That should be instead of the high wind watch. Now, up here in Del Norte County, we have a high wind warning. That's until 4 a.m. So it looks like the winds will be stronger in Del Norte than they will be in Humboldt. So that's interesting. So that's just been updated. And there's a high wind warning towards central Siskiyou and in Modoc County until tomorrow morning. So those winds obviously very strong. All right, let's get to it. I hate it when that happens. Let's get to the winds. We'll get to the winds now. All right, so 7 o'clock this morning. All right, the winds are strongest for parts of the valley, Siskiyou County, eastward. And then we go through the day today, and all right, nothing unusual, about the same. We go into the afternoon, and the winds are starting to pick up. Now, notice the winds are picking up for the coast. Now, keep in mind that those winds will be strongest tonight and tomorrow, and we'll take a look at all of that also in the deeper dive forecast. All right, so here's what we got, folks. Temperatures today, not changing much from yesterday. In fact, it'll be warmer in many of the mountain locations because that cooler air is finally mixed out and it's warming up. Now, looking at the 7-day outlook, one more day of steady rain today. Showers and thunderstorms possible on thunderstorms on Friday. Scattered showers Saturday, Sunday. Now, next week, the forecast model has been all over the place, but now it's beginning to look like Monday, Tuesday, maybe a chance for showers. By Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, it actually may be dry. For now, I've got the chance in there. That's because yesterday was looking like that and even early this morning. But I just looked at the latest forecast models before coming on live here, and I noticed that it's kind of backing off on both the models, so we'll see. But again, steady rain today for most of us, and steady rain even for a lot of places that saw snow yesterday. It's going to be in the form of rain. So a lot of you that maybe didn't see a lot of snow, well, the rain's going to be on top of that, and then it's all going to melt. And then we're going to probably see some of the snow from the ski park melt as well. That's a bummer. I'm bummed about that. All right, so that's your quick cast. Have a great day if that's all you need. But we're going to keep going, folks. We got a lot more to talk about. Let's get you to it, shall we? Let's start off by taking a look at some of the cameras out there. Winds are blowing out in Lake Oroville, North Forebay. And you've got the wet weather. No surprises there, right? Let's take a look at Main Street, Chico. Look at that. Wind is blowing a little bit. You can see that camera blowing in the wind. Raindrops on the lens. It's wet. Hey, no surprises there. There's Highway 99 at Neal Road. Guess what? It's wet. It's a little windy out there. That's what we're dealing with here. Unfortunately, this camera doesn't move here that we're going to be looking at infrareding, but you can see the wet roads. This is Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive, and it's wet. A little windy out there, too. All right, this is fun. I asked you to send some of the pictures. This is in Mount Shasta. Thank you, Mel. Now, Mel lives near the kind of the Black Butte area. Look at all that. Look at all that snow. All right, this is my fun joke. I don't know. I think Bob may have put in his message to me. Let me see if I can find that. I think I have it. Go into content. Why is it not showing me the content? Oh, gallery. There we go. Let's see if he puts the name of the dog. Update from Bob Bernie. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if Bob is the name of the dog or if Bob is the guy that sent it. I think it's Bob. But look at the dog. Doesn't look happy, does he? Now remember, I was saying I was a little off on those snow totals for places like Bernie and even Mount Shasta. So I think the dog is saying, Mike Krueger, I'm mad at you. I was not prepared for this. You didn't say it was going to snow this much. I love that. I love that photo. That's awesome. And I love the fact that I can laugh about the fact that I was not 100% right there on the snow. It's tough. It's a tough one. Snow is tough, folks. MacArthur, Tracy Sackett, her dogs are actually happy. They're happy with me. They're saying, Mike, good job. Hey, great job. Yay. They're having a good time. Hey, there's Montgomery Creek. This was actually from yesterday morning this time, and John sent this. What a great shot. You got the American flag there lit up. Very well lit up. Look at that. I mean, just creating shadows because of all the snow that they're seeing. Now, there was more snow on top of what, most likely, what he had seen. And this is from Brian Houston in Castle. I recall, and I've mentioned this during some of my weathercasts too, I recall Brian sending one like this last year. Just a beautiful shot. Love it. Great shot. This one's fun too. This is out in Bernie. This little kiddo is having a good old time. Made a snowman with his mom. With all that snow. They made the snowman taller than this little kiddo right here. Thank you, Ken, for sharing that family moment. What a fun, fun time. Who doesn't love making a snowman, right? And this just really encompasses right here what snow is like for kids versus being an adult. I grew up, I spent my elementary school years in Minnesota, where we had winters every year. And I just remember how much I loved the snow. So much fun. But now I understand the nightmares that my parents went through when it came to having to drive in the snow and just deal with the snow, right? That's what we're looking at right here. This kiddo has no idea what it looks like on the roads, right? At least at that time. He's just having a good old time. I love it. All right, take a look at this. This is out of Trinity Lake. Looks like this is a dock. I love it. I love it, man. I mean, maybe someone took their boat out. I don't know. Wouldn't that be fun to kind of go boating while it's snowing like that? Thank you, Gene, for sharing that image. That was a lot of fun. Loved it. Hey, by the way, I want to see your photos. And if it's not the snow, how about when it starts flooding? Let me see your flooding photos. If it's not the flooding photos, how about your storm damage photos, maybe from the wind? Do you see any down power lines, any damage from the wind? Let me see them. Share them from the free Weather NorCal app. It's very easy. If you have an iPhone, search for Weather NorCal, download it for free today. It's free. It'll always be free. The Android device, Google Play Store, search for Weather NorCal, download it for free. So that's what you're looking at right there. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break from the rain and snow and the storm, and we're going to have a little fun here. My wife had an opportunity to talk to the owners at Duvenborgen Farms, something like that. It's a dairy. And it's really just this great report about the raw milk and just a local farm here. So check it out. NorCal Ag Report, sponsored by our buddies over at Lassen Canyon Nursery. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Sadie Krueger, and I want to welcome you to this week's Ag Report, sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. And I'm here at the Duvenborgen Farm with Mark. Mark, tell us a little bit about the services and products that you offer here.
So Duvenborgen Farms is one of only 5 dairies in the state of California that do raw milk. And what we offer is gallons and half gallons of cream top milk, non-pasteurized, raw. And then also too, we carry some other local products as far as like cheeses and yogurts and what have you from Sierra Nevada Cheese. We have local eggs and honey from 3C Ranch. We carry beef from Rockin' H Beef, which is my neighbor Kyle just down the road here. And the chicken also is part of 3C Ranch. And so there's other goods as well as like handmade tallow, skincare products from my daughter-in-law who does that, and candles from my daughter. But other products like ciabatta, sourdough bread made by Monica, who's in the neighborhood, and that's how our little store is growing. Is we keep adding more local products that we want to showcase what other people are doing.
I love it. I can't wait to go shopping afterwards. So what does a day in the life of a farmer look like here on the farm?
With the way we're set up now, it's not like when I was growing up and you're getting up at 2 in the morning to go milk cows, but now it's more like, get up at 5:30 in the morning. And one thing that's changed for me over the years is now that I have probably about 5 people working for me, so I don't have to do it all.
Good for you.
Yeah, the older you get, you learn to work smarter, not harder. So it's just like, maintaining what you're doing consistently, and like I said, doing things with integrity and making sure that we take care of it in the right way.
I love it. And what inspired you to get into the farming business?
Well, when I was a little guy, when we showed up here, when I was 4 years old, I already knew in my heart that this was what I was wanting to do. And so from there on, I was always learning from my dad and taking every opportunity to learn as much as I can here on the farm, to help my dad. And I was on a tractor at 10 years old already. Just an example.
Yeah.
He took me out to the field on the tractor with the mower because we have to mow our pastures at times. And he took me a couple rounds, showed me how to do it, and said, "See you later." So I had to mow 14 acres.
At 10.
At 10. And it took me probably a good 6 hours to get it done, but that's where it started with like running equipment, but it was working with the animals. And yeah, this is not something you just do on a whim, you have to have a heart for it.
Well, I love everything you're doing here, from the Airbnb to the store to the raw milk, the cookies, all the fabulous products. We hope you join us next week on NorCal Ag.
All right, so that again, I want to thank Lassen County Nursery for their sponsorship of the NorCal Ag Report. Without them, the NorCal Ag Report would not exist. Whether NorCal would not exist. We need all of our sponsors here. So again, want to thank Kenny from Lassen County Nursery for his sponsorship of that. Yeah, while I was watching that, and first of all, it's kind of fun. You think about all the cows, that commercial, happy cows come from California. Just those green pastures. How cool is that? But during that report, I was looking at some of your comments that I hadn't really had a chance to check out some of them. Robin Epperson Lee had an interesting question here, and I think this is something that would be good for us to address here, and we'll talk about it here. So he's asking, can you explain the difference between rain and showers? Now that's a very good question. Think of rain as what we saw yesterday and what we're going to see again today. It's kind of just that steady rainfall that you're seeing through a good portion, if not the entire day. So sometimes you may look at the 7-day forecast and you'll see it says rain or showers. Rain just means that it'll most likely rain most of the day. Showers means you'll see some rain and then it will stop and then it will rain again and then it will stop. Maybe you'll see some clearing in the skies and all that. So that's essentially what that is. Rain is a more aggressive term for the rain than showers is. So showers is basically saying, hey, we're not going to see that much rain. So it's, it's just one way for us to try to communicate that, it's not going to be super rainy. It's just going to be scattered showers. So hopefully that kind of explains that. Good question, though. I appreciate that. A lot of rain in Whitmore. Yeah, that's what you saw here. Good morning. Tired of the rain already. Patrick said he's already tired of the rain. Let's see here. Then we've got, we got a report in here. I was looking at this. Oh, Curtis Brown. Curtis Brown was saying, let's see what he's got here. Curtis, he's 7 miles west of Red Bluff, and he's saying, oops, I did the wrong one. Did I do it? There we go. Saying, good morning, Mike. Everyone, yesterday was measured 2.83 inches of rain as of 2200 hours, so that was yesterday. Highest gust was about 23 miles per hour. So the winds weren't too terribly strong, but certainly a gusty day for you out there. And it looks like we've got more rain. We got more wind. All right, good. Robin, I'm glad you were able to, I was able to answer your question there. We'll tell you what, without further delay, let's get you to the deeper dive forecast. And we've got a lot to talk about. A lot. This is going to be fun, folks. Buckle down. Maybe pop up some popcorn. Maybe I should do some of these in the evening too, because popcorn is a little bit more appropriate in the evening than it would be in the morning. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Let's get you to it. All right. First of all, we need to mention our sponsor, Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River... I promise there's nothing but coffee in my coffee. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Thank you so much to Wind River for their support of Weather NorCal. All right, look at the radar. Now, I stopped it here because this is what it looked like. See this time right here? Same time. This is 24 hours ago. You may recall all of the snow that we were looking at, right? And snow down to as low as 2,000 to 2,500 feet. Let's take you through the day. All that snow through the afternoon. Eventually, though, overnight tonight, last night, and into tomorrow morning, overnight last night and into this morning, you see how we're seeing less blue, even less pink? That's because the snow levels are going up and up and up. They're going up now, and they're continuing to go up here throughout the day today. Now, you'll also notice it's not quite as cold. Now, Boerne's still pretty chilly at 33. 38 degrees for Mount Shasta City, 38 for Weaverville. These temperatures are going to go up as well because we're starting to mix out a lot of that colder air. So your headlines, snow levels rising above 5,000 feet today. We're probably close to that, if not around that already. The focus will now turn to the potential for flooding, mudslides, and debris flows. And the reason I say that, because you get an immediate reaction and immediate action, or not action, what's the word I'm looking for? Immediate response, or you feel, how about that? You feel the impacts immediately from the snow and from the wind, right? The snow in the form of chain requirements, it starts piling up, you got to shovel it, right? That's an immediate impact. Immediate impact from the wind is down trees, power lines, power outages, right? But with the rain, and when you're talking about heavy rainfall, flooding rain, it's a delayed impact. So what you have is you've got all this rain that's happening. First of all, think of our ground like a sponge. If you take a sponge, remember, you think about when you try to get your sponge wet so you can wipe off the counter. Sometimes it takes time. You got to fill up the sponge first, and then eventually that sponge overflows because there's no more water that can fit inside that sponge. It's kind of how the ground works. Eventually what happens is we see more and more rain. The ground is soaking up all that rain, right? And that's great. But then eventually the ground says, we can't hold any more water. So eventually it starts running off. So as you get into the foothills and the mountains, that rain that's running off is going down to the creeks and streams and the rivers. And we start to see those swell up and rise, and you get those flooding conditions. And on top of that, a lot of the flood-prone areas, low-lying areas, can start seeing flooding as well. So that's why I think as we go through the day today, and really over the next 12 to 24 hours, we're going to start to see some of the impacts from all this rain that we have seen and are seeing and will see through the day today. Now, the gusty winds will continue to be a problem here. That could bring us more power outages, unfortunately. And then there's a possible for a drier trend as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday. A little teaser there. Isn't that nice? But we got to get through this first, right? There it is. There is that atmospheric river, Pineapple Express. There is that narrow band of moisture headed, and it's been aimed at Northern California yesterday. It's going to be aimed at Northern California again today. Now, sure, we've seen it kind of do a little bit of this. So, it's kind of like parts that are just outside of this column of air have seen some rain, and then it stops, and then it rains again, and then it stops on either side of it. But when you're in the middle of it, it doesn't really stop, does it? And that's essentially what we've got here. So another thing you'll notice, this right here is that bomb cyclone you've been hearing about. It's still spinning up there. We've got these disturbances rotating around it. You see that? There's another area of low pressure developing. This is getting caught up in the flow and will eventually impact us by tomorrow, and it'll bring us more rainfall. And eventually this will all shift southward. In fact, let's take a look at that. There is that atmospheric river aimed right at us, right? That's today. Let's take you into Friday. I'm going to advance the map here. There we go. So here we are. See how it's kind of shifting to the south as we go into Friday and into Saturday. So today it's aimed at us. Really a good portion of Friday, it'll be to the south and east. You see how this is still coming up into parts of NorCal? I mean, so Plumas County, parts of Lassen County may still see some of that heavier rainfall, but everyone else at this point is no longer under the influence of this atmospheric river. Anything we see beyond this is now going to be scattered showers and possible thunderstorms for parts of the valley as well. That then shifts down to the south even more on Saturday and even Sunday. So that's all pointed to the south. So again, anything we see over the weekend, scattered showers. Rain, showers behind that. Now, we talk about the intensities, and really I just want to illustrate here. There's yesterday, there's today, into tonight, and then through the day on Friday, we see that atmospheric river shift to the south, and then by Friday night into Saturday, no more atmospheric river for us. But to our south, there will be. Bay Area, down into Southern California eventually by the weekend. So there you have it. Let's take a look at Futurecast. Let's walk you through the timing of it all. You see that? Now look at this. Remember I was talking about the narrow band of moisture and it kind of goes up and down, back and forth? Well, look what's happening. By noon today, look at this. We're not really seeing much for Del Norte County, even northern Humboldt County. Look to the south. Willow is getting a bit of a break, right? That's because this is kind of starting to do this. What we call retrograde. It's moving back up to the north and west. And by the way, look at the snow levels, 5,000, 6,000 feet. A little bit of snow for some of those higher mountain peaks here, but overall, this is all in the form of rain. And then you'll notice by 5 p.m., it doesn't shift much. Just some light rain here for parts of Del Norte County. Heavier rainfall to the south, still aimed right at us in the center of it all. And then you can see 5 p.m., I've got 7,000 to 8,000 feet with those snow levels. Look at the snow. We're not seeing much. Lassen Park, the mountain of Mount Shasta, where is it? Right here. It's underneath the white lettering of Mount Shasta, but you get the idea. And then, of course, some of the higher peaks in the Trinity Alps and, of course, into the Cascades as well. Now, notice what's happening. You see it's just kind of shifting eastward like that? That's because the atmospheric river is shifting to the south. So now, most of what we're seeing here is scattered showers not impacted by the atmospheric river. This is still some moisture coming in from the atmospheric river Friday morning and even Friday afternoon. You can still kind of see that steady flow still coming in there. So kind of in the very northern fringe of that. But behind that, this right here, this is scattered showers and possible thunderstorms here for Friday at noon. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, now that's shifting more to the south. Look, we've got more activity coming in from the west. Snow level's still fairly high. But then as we go into Saturday, now it's gone completely. No more atmospheric river for us. And now we've just got some scattered showers, snow back down to 3,500, 4,500 feet. This is not a major storm system, by the way. This is not a major snowstorm. It's just going to bring us some scattered snow flurries and maybe some scattered showers. And, you know, we may even introduce a chance for thunderstorms for the valley even on Saturday. But again, with all that rain that we saw yesterday, and we're seeing again today, there is that flood risk for today. There's the flood risk for tomorrow. And then, of course, no longer that flood risk on Saturday. There it is, right here. See all the areas in dark green? That's the flood watch. These areas right here are a flood warning. And these areas right here are all flood advisories. What do we take from all of this? Well, bottom line is this. Rising creeks and streams, as I was mentioning earlier, as well as rivers, low-lying areas, mudslides, debris flows. We can't forget about that either. So I want to show you what it looks like right now, the current condition of a lot of the different gauges that are coming in from different parts of the creeks and rivers. Now notice out towards north of Eureka, we have got, let me go ahead and click on that again. We've got Mad River near Arcata. It's already at 16.27. That's at the action stage, so that's the lowest level, right? But you can see it's forecast on Friday at 10 a.m. to be at 20.5. That's going to be the crest, and then it will drop after that. Now notice we've got green all over the map here, indicating right now everything looks great. But I want to focus your attention here to Eel River at Fern Bridge. Right now it's great. But as we start seeing more and more of that runoff, what's going to happen is it's going to crest on Friday at 23.1 feet. That's at the moderate stage. So we're going to see some of that moderate flooding as a result. All right, now let's take it to the Sacramento River. This is coming in from Cow Creek. Now, the current, and there's some wonky data coming in here. So the current is 10.38. It's going to be in the action stage by the time we get to 6 p.m. on Friday, all right? And then to the south of that, it's all mainly going to be, there's no data there. It's mainly south of Red Bluff that we are going to be looking at action. So it's not going to get above the action stage for places like Sacramento River at Tehama Bridge, for example. We've also got Vina-Woodson Bridge going into the action stage. We've got Sacramento River at Hamilton City. Again, not getting above that yellow stage that you're seeing there. Let's take you out to Fort Ord at Ord Ferry. Also in that moderate stage. So again, the Sacramento River, yeah, we're going to see it go up, but it's not going to be anything major by any stretch of the imagination. All right, let's take a look, and I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get back to the green screen. We're going to take a look at some of those rainfall totals that we will see over the next few days. So there you can see it here through this afternoon, maybe another inch to an inch and a half or more for parts of the valley. And then, of course, as we go through Friday, from now through Friday, another 3+ inches for some of us. From now through Saturday, not much more on top of that. Saturday is just going to be kind of some of those scattered showers. I really don't expect a lot of rainfall for the valley. And look at that, again, not as much for the coast, and it looks like not as much out towards the east as well. All right, let's switch gears now. We're talking about winter weather. Yeah, we're still talking about it, but take a look at this. And I meant to change this. There's my 5,000 with 4 zeros and my 7,000 with 4 zeros. I don't know what's going on here. But 10 o'clock until 10 o'clock tonight for northern Trinity County, above 5,000 feet. I would say that the main concern is going to be still Scott Mountain, which is closed right now. And then you've got 7,000 feet, above 7,000 feet in the eastern mountains, and that's until 10 o'clock tonight. So yes, there's going to be snow out there, but you have to go up pretty high in elevation before you start seeing that snow. So there's through today. Look at Friday. Not seeing much, are we? But as we go into Saturday, we're going to start to see it fill in a little bit more. Not a ton, but it will, because we're seeing lower snow levels by the time we get into Saturday. And of course, I always got to show the ski park, right? Because we're getting that time of the year. Let's take a look at it. And maybe a little bit later, we'll take a look at the camera out there too. But there you can see, it looks like we're not seeing much on top of that. But then by Saturday, maybe a little bit more filling in. So from now through Saturday, it looks like the ski park could pick up another foot of snow. So some of that's going to melt, right, from the rain. But then maybe we can pick up another foot of snow on top of that. That'd be nice. By the way, with all the snow that we saw yesterday, and now rain on top of that, that could induce an avalanche for some of the backcountry around Mount Shasta. That's why there's an avalanche warning in effect until noon today. So just be aware of that. Probably not a good idea to be out there anyways. Looks like conditions are really improving. Now, no chain requirements west of I-5 at this point, just the closure right now out at Scott Mountain. Oh, shoot, I meant to change that, but I didn't. Let's get you to it. And then you can see to the east, some of those chain requirements there, but still some chain requirements around I-5. Main thing is they're still basically screening all big rigs to make sure that they've got chains. And you can see that here. There are all the big rigs lined up. They're being screened right now. But I-5 is open. And as you can clearly see here, the big rigs are going by. All right. Here you can see Dunsmuir. Remember yesterday, that was covered in snow. So was Mount Shasta. Not so much anymore. Looks much better up there. Snowman Summit is also looking a lot better. Looks like Caltrans did a pretty good job clearing that out as well. We take you out to Highway 299 West. Oregon Mountain was covered in snow. Not so much anymore. That's never been covered in snow. That was always rain. Unfortunately, the camera's still down out towards Buckhorn Summit. Here's a look at Highway 299 East. Look at Hatchet Mountain. I mean, that's looking like just wet, right? We've got wet conditions there, wet conditions on Cedar Pass as well. So conditions are really improving out there, folks. Certainly a lot better, but still use caution. The roads are still wet and could get slick. But there you can see Shingletown. That was actually had some snow yesterday morning. Now it's all melted because of the rain on top of that snow. That's an example of if you saw some snow yesterday, if it hasn't already melted, it will melt for today. And then there you can see around Lassen Park. I mean, that's almost at 6,000 feet. Looks pretty wet there. So those snow levels are getting pretty high. We can take a look at Highway 36. This is east of I-5. There's a look at near Chester. Still a lot of that snow on the ground, but a lot of that is melting and will melt. And there you can see for down your summit, looks like we're looking at fairly wet conditions up there as well. And there's Highway 70. Looks like just wet roads. Not much in the way of snow, if any. All right, let's talk about the wind now. And I didn't get a chance to change this. This right here is a wind advisory. This is a high wind warning. Those are basically for tonight through tomorrow morning, gusts 50, 60 miles an hour. And we'll take a look at those winds here in a second, where we've got the high wind warning until tomorrow morning for central Siskiyou County and Modoc County. No more advisories, at least with the winds for the valley. But you can see this morning, right now, pretty gusty, especially down to the south here to the east, but really not that bad along the coast right now, except for the south into southern Humboldt County. So we take a look at the forecast for today. Still gusty in some spots here, higher mountain ridge tops, those inland valleys and mountain valleys. But look at this evening at 6 p.m. The winds are starting to pick up for the coast. I'm going to take you into late tonight and early tomorrow morning. Here's close to midnight. Look at this. We're close to 50 miles an hour again for Crescent City. Crescent City saw a peak gust during the main storm, 72 miles an hour. Of course, power outages, right? And not as strong down towards Eureka, but still strong. Very gusty winds out into Trinity County, western Siskiyou, even the valley, just east of the valley, getting some of those strong winds. And then Friday morning, pretty gusty winds for the valley. By Friday afternoon, we're starting to see things calm down a bit with the winds. In fact, on Saturday, a little breezy in some spots here, but shouldn't be that bad with the winds here. Take a look at this. Now, I was kind of teasing the potential for drier conditions for next week. Looks like that could be the case here. This is what the Climate Prediction Center is picking up on. Drier than normal to near normal conditions with the wetter conditions off to our east. So let's take a look at Futurecast and show that. So we're still seeing that atmospheric river pointing right at us. You can kind of see it right here. All right. This is that area of low pressure that was spinning around it. That's coming in tomorrow. That's going to bring us more rain. Still a bit of that atmospheric river, right? Still kind of pointed for Friday, especially to the southeast, as I was mentioning, around towards Plumas and parts of Lassen County as well. But everyone else at this point, now we've just got this activity right here that'll be moving in Friday afternoon and Saturday. So there you can see Saturday, just some most likely dry for many of us, just a few showers. Another system coming on in, giving us a chance for showers Sunday into Monday. There's Monday, a chance for showers, as you can see there. Tuesday, maybe another chance for showers. This looks like it's going to try to come our way, but this model is going to keep it away from us. Wednesday, Thanksgiving Day. Doesn't that look nice? Especially with all the rain that we've seen. We don't want what's happening now on Thanksgiving Day. We want our relatives and our friends and our family to be able to make it to our homes so we can all celebrate together. It looks like we'll be in better conditions for next week for that. Taking a look at the rainfall through next Wednesday. So we're starting to see these numbers get smaller and smaller because we're seeing most of the rain yesterday and today, and then after today, we're just not going to see as much rainfall from many areas. But again, this is an area we have to watch for as we do go into your Friday afternoon. Looking at those wave heights for today, they're not terrible, but there still is that small craft advisory, and they're going to be about the same for your Friday afternoon as well. So there's your marine forecast. Southeast winds at 20 to 25 knots. Your waves from the south at 8 feet at 9 seconds. Also from the west at 12 feet at 13 seconds with that small craft advisory for today. All right, so here's a look at your forecast. Trinity County, temperatures in the mid 40s, give or take, often on chances for rain. There's a very good chance that if you watch my afternoon update or my evening update, I'll probably take out that chance on Wednesday. We'll see. I'm beginning to see some of the models showing much drier conditions on Wednesday and, of course, Thanksgiving Day as well. But today, not dry at all. Everyone's seen that rainfall. But as we take you down to southern Humboldt County, yes, steady rainfall all day long. Red Crest, Miranda, Garberville, Honeydew, all seen that rain all day long today. Same situation for Ferndale, Fortuna, Rio Dell, Hydesville with a high of about 56 degrees. Rain pretty much all day long today. Now, as we take you up to the north, Eureka, you may see at times maybe a break or two as you start heading northward, and then heading even farther to the north out towards Del Norte County. I've got the rain in there, but honestly, there's a chance that a good portion of the day you may not even see any rainfall. It will be dry, but then eventually late in this afternoon and evening, it does turn over to rain. And then that chance for showers continues for pretty much everyone, at least through next Tuesday. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mid-50s along Highway 96. I-5 corridor should be looking at those temperatures in the low 50s. 49 out towards Greenview, 50 in Etna, 50 degrees for Fort Jones, and 49 degrees in Callahan. We take out to central and eastern Siskiyou County. Temperatures mainly mid to upper 40s. 44 degrees from Mount Shasta City, 46 Dunsmuir. Snow levels probably even higher than 6,000 feet. And then we drop them a little bit, even more on Monday and Tuesday. And then I'm keeping just that slight chance in there for Wednesday. All right, but again, that may most likely be taken out. All right, there you can see Modoc County, 45 degrees for Newell, 49 degrees for Alturas, and 47 degrees for Aden. 52 out in Paynes Creek. 48 degrees for Hat Creek, and there you can see Beaver, about 46 degrees. Here's your Lake Almanor, Lassen Park forecast. Of course, around the lake, you're looking at temperatures low to mid 40s. And looks like we're going to be off and on chances for rain. Snow levels eventually dropping back down a bit lower, especially as we go most likely into your Saturday and Sunday. There's a look at your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Yeah, looks like maybe even a chance for a few thunderstorms for places like Paradise and the Valley. Here's your Valley Neighborhood Forecast brought to you by our friends at Walgamuth Painting. Don't mind that. That's just in my household. There you can see 54 degrees out towards Pasquinta, 56 for Chico, 56 out in Los Molinos, and 57 degrees out in Oroville. Take you up north, 50 for Whiskeytown, 54 degrees for Anderson, 48 degrees for Lakehead, and 54 degrees out towards Cottonwood. And of course, we got a chance for some thunderstorms, and looks like chance for showers continuing through the weekend. There's your 7-day outlook for Redding. Yeah, windy today, tomorrow. Also the chance for thunderstorms. And it looks pretty ominous, doesn't it? So this was answering your question about showers. What's the difference between rain and showers? Look at Thursday. You see how that rain is just coming down? That's rain. Okay, that's today. Look at Friday. Look at Saturday. Look at Sunday. See how it rains? And then it stops raining. And then we see more showers. That's showers. Okay, and then I got that chance in there for Wednesday, but overall, looks like we're going to be drying things out, especially by the middle to latter part of next week, which is the important forecast, right? Because everyone's got their friends and family coming from wherever. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're going somewhere. But overall, it looks like that's what we're looking at here, folks. You gotta love these kind of days, right? I mean, there's so much. There's so much information. But that's what I love about it. I mean, there's just so much going on. Let's see what some of you got going on here. Oh, man, you know what? I usually do. I've been kind of slacking on updating that information. What you see on the web is something I've got to update daily, and I've just been so busy that I haven't had a chance to update it. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the lake levels. They'll probably go up a little bit here with the rain that we're seeing here. So, yeah. Let's see, we got some interesting, now we're kind of done here. We can just kind of chat it up and see what everybody's up to here. We have got Tracy Sackett saying, my sister lost a big carport in Montague the night before last. It took flight in the crazy winds they had. Broke a window, oh my gosh, on their bummer, on their classic panel truck, and took out a couple of fences. Fortunately, no injuries, and her animals are safe. That's good. As long as nobody's hurt, that's always the end game here, right? If nobody gets hurt, we're all okay. Damage this, damage that, as long as you're okay. We don't want damage to people. So that's good. Let's see what else you all are up to this morning. Kind of checking in here. We got Tim Moore, lots of rain in Whitmore. There you go. Yeah, but right now I don't have any lake level info, but you have prompted me maybe start thinking about that. Maybe next week when things kind of quiet down. It's just a lot of work. You got to get in there because I have to, change everything out, and sometimes it can take longer than I don't want it to. And sometimes when I'm busy, it's kind of hard to get to it. Enjoying that coffee this morning. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave you with, usually I leave you with the cameras and stuff, but this is fun. I love these photos that everybody sent. And I want to just kind of give you a quick reminder that you can share your photos. Very simple. Go to the free Weather NorCal app, send them from your iPhone, send them from your Android, and it's as simple as a couple of clicks away, and before you know it, you are sharing a photo and you are seeing photos like this. Very cool, right? So I want to thank Mel Burbank. I want to thank everybody for sending in their photos. I want to thank everyone for their support. I want to thank everyone for sending in their rain and their snow totals, keeping me informed. Only so much one person can do, right? So I appreciate the help of all you. I've got Kevin here real quick. He's saying, snow turning into rain and ice in Montgomery Creek. Oh, fun. Ice. That's something we'll have to deal with as well, right? But take a look at some of these photos. Thank you, Kevin, for that report. And we will see you, well, today's Thursday. Yeah, we got another day. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger starting at 7 a.m. Until then, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.